Welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for Compound. Now, I have kind of bad news on this one. My primary is quickly changing to a bearish 5-wave move, where we bottom between the previous low, which was around $23, and around $13.74 at the 236. Have this as a B wave high, and we have a 5-wave move to the downside. Biggest reason is we haven't had any impulsive moves in this area, so the longer we drag on, the most likely it is a corrective move. And if you look at this area, we had a expanded flat where we just took liquidity from the top and the bottom side, and we rejected to the downside. The only way this would be considered complete is if this is an odd looking ending diagonal, expanded ending diagonal, which I don't love now that I see the length this is drawing out. So expecting lower lows currently. Now the only way I see this bullish at this point is if we take off very soon after making one more low here, and we just take off for a third, and that would have to prove me otherwise. We'd have to break this level up around $62 before I'd be interested, and with some conviction in an impulse. But as of right now, I have this as a placeholder. This is becoming my primary, and that we're making an ending diagonal here. The only way this would move to the upside, it would be if we don't get a impulse there, is correctively. And to show you that would be like H bar. See, very similar. That's that second move. We just move correctively to the upside, and this is more of making a C wave than anything. So if we do move to the upside, I'd expect something similar. Complex corrections to the upside, back, like so. And this would all just become an ABC, ABC, and we'll probably correct back, and then move correctively basically forever to the upside. Not forever, but a long time. So I'm actually hoping for this scenario because it resolves the bear market faster. If you're a fan of this coin, you would definitely want the same thing, just to resolve it faster, and we can actually try and make an impulse off this bottom. So we'll go down to the 4-hour. Again, I have this as our 4th wave top. So in an ending diagonal, we have to move in a series of zigzags. This is a double zigzag, ABC, ABC. We had a corrective move in a channel, very complex. And right now, in the bullish scenario, I have this as WXY, and that's where we'd make that launch pad for that third. But again, it would have to prove itself by breaking this level after that happened with a impulsive move. So be paying close attention in that area. But if we get this third wave to the downside, I think it's probable at this point. It's a pretty big move, so I'm looking for trades here. But I'm going to trade it a very specific way, and I'll show you that in a moment. So there is a few different things. This is a really weird spot if it's a B wave or an X wave, because I even see this as potentially a triangle to the upside or the downside. That's where we'd get more complex. Hope I'm not confusing anybody too much. If you're confused, I suggest studying some Elliott Wave. But this is the area where I'd be interested to see what happens, because there's a good chance we just keep falling through, similar to over here. But if we reject there and we make some sort of move, I'd have to reevaluate if we reject there. But there's a lot of stops at this level that can get liquidated just because we spent so much time in this area. So we'll go down to the 1-hour, and I'll show you my scenarios. You can see we're almost breaking this trend line. We are making like a triangle pattern. So in the bullish scenario, we'd want to defend this low if this is actually a triangle and not a complex pattern. We want to defend this low, and this would be an A, B, C, D, E to the upside. But I wouldn't be interested till we break this level. Now, alternatively, this is why this area is so complicating. This could be a zigzag for our first zigzag in the ending diagonal scenario, A, B, C. And this could all be a B wave in a zigzag, where this is our A, and we make our triangle here. You can see we're a series of threes, and we have our A, B, C, D, E, and we break down and make another zigzag, double zigzag to the downside, and that's where we just fall off a cliff, similar to that previous wave. So there's a lot of things that can happen in this area. But what's important to me, and why I'm looking actively for a trade, is in this WXY where we can make further upside. Our one-to-one extension is down here at $40. So in that scenario, we come to the downside, probably as soon as we break this trend line here. In my ending diagonal scenario, we come to the downside. The only way I see this coming to the upside is if this is somehow a triangle to the upside. So that's how I get probabilities on my side, is multiple counts telling me the same direction, if that makes sense. So this is the area for those both counts that needs to be held below. I can get that for you here. According to Binance, it is 56.67. But as of right now, I'll leave that count on, and I'll put my alternative, even though it's quickly becoming my primary, as our A, B, C, D, E. Actually, our C would be over here. Let me adjust that. So in that correction, we want to defend 56.90. So looking to see if this pans out. So the way I'm going to trade this, and give it a little more time, if it actually breaks out from here, as soon as it breaks this trend line, looks like we have a little bit more room. Those are right on the pivots. But ideally, I'd like to see a three-wave move here to the upside for this E wave. And the way I will trade this, and only after we get that move, is I will put a entry below the D. Say I get this move to the upside, and then it starts to sell off. Because remember, at the end of a triangle, we expect a very fast thrust. So if we get this, I will be triggered in below the D. And my stop will go at the E wave. And I'll be targeting all the way down there. Minimum the one-to-one, but if it's very impulsive, I'll just leave it. But that's what I'm looking at for the triangle situation. And if we come up from here, it's a very difficult area to get any confidence, but if we come up and break the C wave, I would expect this to get drawn out a little bit more. And we're making a connecting wave up here, where this is making a larger ABC flat. And that would be good news for the bulls. That would be very good news for the bulls. But as of right now, it looks very weak. I'm quickly changing my primary to this count. It looks extremely weak. And looking for that triangle setup potential from here. I'm not going to chase this as a long because this is not impulsive. I still expect us, if we are moving to the upside, it's more corrective, where it's just making a B wave here, and then we'll get a C wave down eventually. All right, I hope this wasn't too confusing. I just wanted to show you all the scenarios and why it's so complicating in this area. But I believe unless we break that high at 56.90, this has to be your primary count currently, just because of the amount of weakness it's showing. All right, guys, that's it for comp. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want updates, and thanks for watching.